Hi, I'm Dr. Mohit Kira. I'm a professor of urology and the director of men's health at Baylor College of Medicine. For over 20 years, I've been helping men understand how to improve their sexual health, restore their vitality, and maintain quality of life as they age. Today, I want to share with you something very important. 2 vitamins that can actually help restore your erections while you sleep, especially for men over the age of 70 born. As men move into their 60s and 70s, one of the most common concerns I hear in my clinic is about declining energy, reduced stamina, and the noticeable change in sexual performance. What many men don't realize is that these changes are not just about getting older. They are often the result of underlying biological shifts that can be improved. Erections, for example, are a barometer of overall health. When a man notices that he's no longer waking up with the same firmness or consistency, it's more than just a sign of aging. It's often an indication of changes in blood flow, hormone balance, or nutritional deficiencies that are quietly influencing performance. In fact, morning erections are one of the best markers we have for male health. They occur because of healthy nocturnal blood flow and proper nerve signaling, both of which are critical for maintaining erectile strength. When these disappear, it suggests that the body's vascular and nervous systems are not working in harmony. Many men attribute this loss to aging alone, but the reality is far more hopeful. By addressing nutrition, hormones, and circulation, these functions can often be improved, even restored, well into the later decades of life. One of the biggest misconceptions I encounter is the belief that once you pass 70, there is little you can do to change the course of your health. That's simply not true. The body retains an incredible capacity to repair, adapt, and respond to the right interventions, even at an advanced age. Nutrients play a particularly powerful role here. Vitamins and minerals are not just small, optional supplements. They are the raw materials the body depends on to regulate blood vessels, produce hormones, generate energy, and maintain nerve function. When even one of these elements is deficient, the effects can ripple across multiple systems, leading to fatigue, weaker erections, and reduced stamina. This is why it's so important for men to think of their morning erections not as a sexual luxury, but as a vital sign. Just as a doctor checks your blood pressure or cholesterol, your body is giving you a daily signal about the state of your vascular and metabolic health. Ignoring this signal means missing an opportunity to intervene early. By the time men reach their 70s, many have lived decades with undetected vitamin deficiencies or poor circulation, and the result is predictable: lower testosterone, weaker performance, and a reduced sense of vitality. But the encouraging truth is that, with proper nutrition and a focus on restoring these critical vitamins, men can experience meaningful improvements. The first step is always awareness, understanding that changes in stamina and erections are not simply old age, but rather a reflection of underlying health gives men the power to act. By correcting deficiencies, supporting blood flow, and optimizing hormone balance, it is entirely possible to wake up feeling harder, stronger, and more energized even after 70. Vitamin D is one of the most underestimated nutrients when it comes to male health and sexual performance, especially after the age of 70. Many people think of vitamin D only in the context of bone health or sunlight exposure, but its role in men's vitality goes far deeper. Vitamin D directly impacts testosterone production, endothelial function, and nitric oxide release, 3 of the most critical factors for strong erections and lasting stamina. When levels of vitamin D fall, as they commonly do in older men, blood vessels lose their ability to relax efficiently, circulation becomes compromised, and the natural hormone signals that support male sexual function weaken. The result is fewer nighttime erections, weaker morning arousals, and a sense of diminished strength and performance. What's important to understand is that vitamin D deficiency is not rare in men over 70. It's actually the norm. With aging, the skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into active vitamin D, and many older men spend less time outdoors than they did in earlier decades. Add to that dietary habits that often lack vitamin D, rich foods such as fatty fish, fortified dairy, or eggs, and you have the perfect storm for deficiency. This deficiency doesn't just weaken bones, it silently reduces testosterone, contributes to fatigue, and interferes with sexual health. Men who have low vitamin D frequently report not only weaker erections but also a lack of energy, muscle weakness, and reduced mood, all factors that further compound stamina issues. Research has repeatedly shown the link between vitamin D and erectile quality. One study found that men with lower vitamin D levels had significantly higher rates of erectile dysfunction compared to men with sufficient levels. Another line of evidence points to its role in nitric oxide synthesis. Nitric oxide is the molecule that signals blood vessels to relax, allowing more blood to flow into the penile tissue. Without enough nitric oxide, it doesn't matter how healthy your testosterone levels are, the erection simply cannot be sustained. Vitamin D deficiency impairs this process, while optimal vitamin D intake restores it. Correcting this deficiency can be transformative. For men in their 70s, supplementing with vitamin D in the right dosage, combined with monitoring blood levels, often leads to improvements not just in sexual performance, but in overall well-being. Sleep becomes deeper, energy levels rise, and muscles respond better to exercise. When taken at night, vitamin D can also support the body's natural hormone regulation, allowing testosterone release and repair processes to align with the body's circadian rhythm. Over time, this creates the conditions for stronger, more reliable morning erections. It's important, however, to personalize this approach. Not every man needs the same dose, and excessive vitamin D can cause its own problems. That's why I always recommend checking blood work first. Once deficiency is identified, correcting it becomes one of the simplest, safest, and most effective interventions to restore stamina, vitality, and sexual confidence well beyond the age of 70. Vitamin B12 is another nutrient that becomes increasingly important for men as they age, particularly when it comes to stamina, energy, and sexual health. While often overlooked, B12 plays a fundamental role in nerve health, red blood cell production, and DNA synthesis. All of these processes are essential for maintaining vitality. Without adequate B12, the body struggles to deliver oxygen efficiently through the bloodstream, nerves lose their ability to communicate effectively, and fatigue begins to creep in. For a man over 70, these issues are not minor inconveniences. They directly influence the ability to achieve and sustain an erection. As men age, one of the most significant challenges with B12 is absorption. The stomach lining produces a protein called intrinsic factor, which is necessary for the body to absorb B12 from food. Unfortunately, by the time many men reach their 60s and 70s, intrinsic factor production declines sharply. That means even if a man is eating foods rich in B12, like meat, eggs, or dairy, his body may not be extracting enough of the vitamin to maintain optimal levels. This silent deficiency can lead to neurological symptoms like tingling in the hands or feet, memory issues, and mood changes. But it can also weaken erections by disrupting nerve signaling and decreasing blood supply to penile tissue. Low B12 levels can also contribute to anemia, a condition in which the body produces fewer red blood cells or cells that are too weak to carry oxygen efficiently. Oxygen is vital for energy metabolism and muscle function, including the smooth muscle within the penis that controls blood flow during erections. When oxygen delivery is compromised, stamina suffers, recovery slows down, and erectile strength declines. Many older men who feel chronically tired or unable to perform sexually may actually be dealing with an undiagnosed B12 deficiency. What's particularly interesting is that restoring B12 can often lead to noticeable improvements in both daily energy and sexual performance. By replenishing this vitamin, men often report feeling more alert, more capable of physical activity, and more consistent with their morning erections. This is because B12 supports both the vascular system and the nervous system, two of the main drivers of male sexual function. When circulation improves and nerve communication becomes sharper, erections naturally become stronger and more reliable. Supplementing B12 becomes especially critical after 70, when natural absorption is so limited. In many cases, oral supplements are not enough, and men may need sublingual forms or even injections prescribed by their physician to correct the deficiency effectively. Once levels are restored, however, the improvements are often dramatic. Men not only regain energy and mental sharpness, but also find their sexual health revitalized. They wake up with stronger erections, feel less fatigued during the day, and experience a renewed sense of vitality that ripples across every aspect of their life. The bottom line is this: vitamin B12 is not just another nutrient. It is a cornerstone of stamina, circulation, and erectile function. Ignoring it accelerates decline, but correcting it unlocks the body's natural ability to perform, recover, and thrive well into the later decades of life. While vitamins such as D and B12 can have a powerful impact on erections and stamina, it is important to recognize that they work best when combined with healthy lifestyle practices. Supplements alone cannot reverse decades of poor habits, But when integrated into a routine that prioritizes sleep, exercise, nutrition, and stress management, they become part of a much more powerful formula for male vitality. For men over 70, these lifestyle factors are no longer optional. They are essential pillars that determine not only sexual health, but also longevity and quality of life. Sleep is perhaps the most underrated element of male sexual performance. During deep sleep, the body repairs tissues, balances hormones, and produces testosterone. In fact, most testosterone release occurs at night, and it is this surge that fuels morning erections. Poor sleep hygiene, frequent nighttime awakenings, or sleep disorders like sleep apnea can significantly reduce testosterone production even if vitamin levels are optimal. This is why I always encourage my patients to prioritize at least 7 hours of uninterrupted sleep. A consistent bedtime, a dark and quiet environment, and limiting screen exposure before bed can make a dramatic difference in hormone balance and erectile health. Exercise is another cornerstone of stamina. Men who remain physically active well into their 70s consistently show better circulation, stronger muscles, and healthier hormone levels compared to sedentary peers. Even light activities such as brisk walking, stretching, or bodyweight exercises stimulate blood flow and help keep arteries flexible. Resistance training, in particular, supports testosterone production and enhances lean muscle mass, both of which are critical for stamina and performance. Regular movement also reduces the risk of metabolic diseases like diabetes or high blood pressure, which are leading causes of erectile dysfunction in older men. Nutrition works hand in hand with supplementation. While vitamins D and B12 are critical, a balanced diet rich in protein, antioxidants, and healthy fats provides the building blocks for optimal health. Lean meats, fish, legumes, nuts, and colorful vegetables all contribute to improved circulation, stronger immunity, and better energy regulation. Hydration is equally important. Even mild dehydration can impair blood flow and reduce erection quality. By treating food as medicine, men can magnify the benefits of their supplements and create a sustainable foundation for long-term health. Finally, stress management cannot be overlooked. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which directly suppresses testosterone production and disrupts sexual function. For men over 70, unchecked stress also impacts sleep, cardiovascular health, and mood, creating a vicious cycle that erodes stamina. Simple practices such as meditation, deep breathing, spending time outdoors, or connecting with loved ones can bring cortisol levels down and restore balance to the body's hormonal environment. When lifestyle is optimized, vitamins like D and B12 have a greater opportunity to work effectively. The combination of proper supplementation, restorative sleep, regular exercise, balanced nutrition, and stress reduction creates a synergy that allows men to reclaim their erections, rebuild stamina, and experience the vitality they thought was lost to age. Morning erections are more than just a sign of sexual readiness. They are one of the clearest indicators of a man's overall health. For men over 70, waking up with a firm erection is a message from the body that blood flow is strong, hormones are in balance, and the nervous system is functioning properly. When these erections become weaker or disappear altogether, it is not simply a reflection of age. It is the body's way of signaling that something deeper may be going wrong. This is why I often describe morning erections as a man's daily report card. They provide valuable insight into cardiovascular health, hormone status, and overall vitality without the need for complicated testing. Erections are the result of an intricate process involving blood vessels, nerves, hormones, and the brain. During sleep, particularly in the REM cycle, the body experiences natural surges of testosterone and nitric oxide. These two elements work together to relax blood vessels and increase blood flow into the penile tissue, resulting in nighttime and early morning erections. If this process is consistently absent, it often points to underlying conditions such as low testosterone, vitamin deficiencies, poor circulation, or even early signs of cardiovascular disease. In fact, erectile dysfunction is sometimes the very first symptom of heart disease, appearing years before more obvious signs like chest pain. For men in their 70s, monitoring the quality and frequency of morning erections can be just as important as monitoring blood pressure or cholesterol. It serves as a non-invasive marker of whether the body's systems are functioning in harmony. If morning erections are still present and firm, that's a reassuring sign that cardiovascular and hormonal health are relatively intact. If they are inconsistent or absent, it may be time to take a closer look at lifestyle habits, nutritional status, and medical conditions that could be interfering with performance. The encouraging reality is that this signal can be improved. By restoring vitamins like D and B12, optimizing sleep, exercising regularly, and managing stress, many men notice a return of stronger morning erections. This change is not just symbolic. It reflects real physiological improvements in circulation, hormone release, and nerve health. Each time a man wakes up with a firm erection, it is confirmation that his body is responding to positive changes and that his health is on a better trajectory. I often encourage my patients to pay close attention to these morning signals. They provide daily feedback about whether the strategies we are implementing, nutritional changes, exercise routines, supplements, are truly working. Unlike lab tests that are done once or twice a year, morning erections are a consistent, built-in marker that men can observe for themselves. When they begin to return after a period of decline, it can be one of the most motivating and empowering signs that health and vitality are being restored. Ultimately, morning erections are not just about sexual performance. They represent cardiovascular fitness, metabolic balance, and neurological integrity. For men over 70, honoring and monitoring this signal can serve as a guide toward better health, longer life, and renewed confidence in their body's natural ability to perform. Would you like me to now expand the sixth keynote, focusing on the overall takeaway, how combining vitamins, lifestyle, and awareness helps men over 70 reclaim stamina and erections? Here's the expanded sixth keynote in Dr. Mohit Khera's style, flowing naturally up to 500 words. Without headings or intro, the larger message here is that men over 70 are not powerless when it comes to their stamina, energy, and sexual health. For too long, many have been told that the decline they experience is simply part of aging, something that cannot be changed. But the truth is, while age does bring natural shifts in hormones and physiology, there are clear, actionable steps that can make a profound difference. By focusing on the right vitamins, embracing healthy lifestyle habits, and paying attention to the signals the body provides, men can restore much of the vitality they thought was lost. Vitamins such as D and B12 are not magic pills, but they are critical building blocks. Without them, the body cannot regulate hormones effectively, circulate blood efficiently, or repair tissues at night. Once deficiencies are corrected, many men notice improved erections, deeper sleep, and a newfound sense of energy. These changes ripple into every aspect of daily life, from physical strength and mental sharpness to confidence and intimacy. Supplements work best, however, when paired with a lifestyle that supports their benefits. Sleep, nutrition, movement, and stress control act as multipliers that allow vitamins to work in harmony with the body's natural systems. The goal is not simply to have stronger erections, but to embrace them as a marker of whole body health. When circulation improves enough to restore firmness, it also means the heart and arteries are healthier. When testosterone levels rise and energy returns, it indicates that the endocrine system is back in balance. When nerves conduct signals smoothly, it reflects resilience in the nervous system. In other words, the pursuit of stronger erections after 70 is not about vanity. It is about reclaiming health, longevity, and quality of life. Equally important is the mindset shift. Many men feel discouraged, believing their best days are behind them. But I have seen countless patients in their 70s and even 80s make remarkable improvements once they begin addressing deficiencies and adjusting their habits. The body has an incredible capacity to heal and adapt at any age. The key is to take consistent action, monitor progress, and remain committed to change. Even small steps, like adding daily walks, improving sleep hygiene, or supplementing with the right nutrients, can create momentum that leads to meaningful transformation. In the end, restoring stamina and erections after 70 is about far more than sexual performance. It is about vitality, independence, and the ability to fully enjoy life's moments. By combining the right vitamins with healthy living and a proactive approach, men can wake up not only harder but healthier, stronger, and more confident in their bodies. Aging does not have to mean decline. With the right tools, it can mean renewal, resilience, and a new chapter of strength.